Hello, everybody. I'm running a little bit late today. I'm trying to get caught up here. I have everything ready today. We're gonna have a good show. There's a ton of news I want to get through, so we'll be going through that. My back is absolutely murdering me today. So if you see me stretching a lot, that's why. My back has been killing me. I don't know. I already have back issues, and then I pulled something. It does not feel good. But we're gonna try to get through this. Hello, good morning, happy Friday, everybody. Someone in the chat said that they got linked to the stream before it started. I didn't link the stream before it started, so I don't know who did that, but I appreciate it. Retarded Tyler. No, it wasn't. It wasn't me. I didn't. I don't know you. I don't know who Magnum Copus is, but I love the name. So, my bad. I was ahead of my horse. Magnum Copus, are you still here? It's all good, Blanco. Blanco, are you streaming today? What's called? I was gonna raid Blanco last night after my game stream, but by the end of it, I only had like a few viewers, so I was like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna send my account and like two other people that are watching me to go send Blanco. I feel like that's like it's like someone asks you for change and then you hand them a couple pennies. Like I didn't want to do that to Blanco. Uh, or I don't know, maybe it's the thought that counts. You guys tell me. Should I have rated him? I need to rate him in the future. But anywho, I forgot to mute my phone. My phone's going off now. It's just literally it's going off, notifying me of my own stream. Lovely, lovely, great way to start the day. Let me know what you guys think of the thumbnail. I totally rushed on that thumbnail. I found a random AI image that I thought went well with the rest of the stories going on today. And I went with it. So I thought it was pretty good. But let's see. What is the first story I want to get into today? Let's see. Let's talk about there's a lot of interesting stories today. Let's talk about Jasmine Crockett because I like talking about her. They've been putting her in the forefront of everything, and a lot of people have been annoyed about it. But personally, I like it because if they want the face of the Democrat Party to be this creature, cool. I'm all fine with that. She's an absolute idiot, and if they want her to be the face of the Democrat Party, that's fine by me. I mean, it's kind of ended up that way. So, what's this story on X? Crockett's immigration claims spark outrage. Representative Jasmine Crockett recently stated that the unaffordability of homes and groceries is a result of failed immigration policies, specifically citing deportations as a contributing factor. Her comments have sparked a significant backlash on social media, where many users have criticized her views as illogical and ignorant. The economic issues mentioned by Crockett, such as the affordability of housing and food, are complex and multifaceted, with no direct evidence provided linking them to solely to immigration policies. Okay, so that already sounds absolutely ridiculous. Let's actually play the clip from her, though. Let's see what she said.
Realm. So I am telling you that this is a failed thing, but we've got to do better to connect the dots and let people know the reason you can't afford a home is because of these failed immigration policies. The reason you're not going to be able to afford your food is because of these failed immigration policies. And the same can go for the hospitality industries, where we have so many of those in the hospitality industry that are saying they do not have the workers that they need right now. Realm. So I am telling you that this is a
Okay, multiple points on that. I don't know how food cost and housing cost are affected by a lack of immigrants. Like if there's not, so how does that even come into the conversation? There's not enough immigrants, so your housing costs go up and your food costs go up. How does seems counterintuitive. It's all good, bro. I appreciate you. I'm gonna let y'all do your thing. You guys are on the come up. I just want to do my own thing for now. Oh no worries, Blanco. I still want to raid you every now and again. I don't want Joey to be the only person I raid. If I'm able to raid other people's streams, I want to do that. Especially people within the community. We gotta all support each other. Trying to support each other, you know. At least I would like to. But you know, it's fine. It is what it is. But as I was saying, this is totally illogical. Exactly what it said in the opening of this X thread. This is illogical. How could it be that there are not enough immigrants, not enough illegal immigrants or immigrants in general, that housing costs have gone up. So housing costs have gone up because there's not enough people. That doesn't make sense. That's not making sense. Food cost going up because there's not enough people. Man, how stupid do you have to be to say something like that? That's completely illogical. That goes against all reasoning. Let me break it down for you. If there are more people and there's a fixed number of houses, right? And there's more people, are the houses going to go up in price or are they going to go down in price? If there's more people, they go up. They go up in price. The same thing for food. So, there are certain things that would go up if there aren't more people. Like Tim Pool's talked about it in cases like Detroit, which, I'm sure some people in the chat would be able to speak to this a little bit more than myself. But essentially what happens in Detroit is after a bunch of people started leaving, there were some bills like electricity and stuff like that. The cost of that went up because the price was not, it was split among a smaller group of people. So like, let's say there's 10,000 people in a city, they're all getting electricity from the same company, and then 5,000 of those people left. Well, your electricity bill would almost double because they still need to make that money to support the where the electricity is coming from. So that's one way where she can make that argument where like, we don't have enough people now prices are going up. But if you want to argue about food and housing, that isn't the same as like an electrical bill or water bill. So it's just stupid. It's just stupid. Every time I see this individual, she gets dumber and dumber. And I'm here for it. I want more Jasmine Crockett. We don't get enough Jasmine Crockett. Can someone please give me more? All right, next story. I want to talk about New Jersey. Let's see. Where's the story? Right here. So New Jersey theater has banned unaccompanied kids from seeing Minecraft after the chicken jockey frenzy. So I'm a young guy. I'm in with the memes, right? So mostly. I don't get it. I don't get this joke. I don't get the meme. I'm not hip with the times on this one. But let's read this article. So what is causing young people to act out and create disruptions amid Minecraft showings? It's because of TikTok, internet culture, and a chicken jockey. Movie theater in New Jersey town is restricting children from seeing the movie seeing the most popular movie of the year. Minecraft movie is the most popular movie of the year? That's a low fucking bar. Of the year after an unacceptable incident during a recent screening. The Township Theater in Bergen County's Washington Township, that's a lot of township words with T. There's a lot of T's in that name. Announced Monday that Monday. I can't talk today, guys. I haven't even started smoking yet. This is terrible. That children will not be admitted to any screenings for a Minecraft movie without being accompanied by an adult. Any minors wishing to see the Minecraft movie must be accompanied by a parent or a responsible adult. Unaccompanied groups of boys will not be admitted. Why boys? That's sexist. You're gonna let the girls in? Theater officials said the decision was reached after a rowdy group of unsupervised children believed to be from nearby Waldwick vandalized and otherwise disrupted a Sunday night showing of the Jack Black flick. Okay. Multiple other moviegoers who were there with families issued complaints about the group's inappropriate behavior. According to the theater, they broke seats. They squirted lotion around. I don't know why. They made a horrific mess. Who owns the theater with his wife. We got a call from a mom complaining to us that her experience was very bad with their son. The theater also said it had obtained footage of the incident and encouraged parents to talk to their children regarding the matter. Some of the kids who were in the theater that night posted on TikTok filming themselves being crazy. Which I did see a video of it. I don't know if they have it tagged here. Might be this video. Well, this is muted.
Our kids have been getting rowdy during the movie Minecraft. So from now on, young people who want to see that movie will have to be accompanied by an adult. News Force Jackie Beckford has more.
Movie night on a school night. How'd these kids get so lucky?
Chicken jockey!
That's right. It's to see the pop culture hit, the Minecraft
What's the joke?
movie.
We want to save this world.
The video game turned film, scoring big with kids and teens, but not so much with some movie theater owners.
We had a bunch of like 13, 14-year-old kids come
Okay,
in
well, now I need to look it up.
and cause havoc.
What
Dave and Laura
is
Rose
the
own Township
chicken?
Theater in the township of Washington. They say Friday night, a group of teens reacting to the chicken
chicken jockey
trend,
meme?
a quote by Jack Black in the movie, got out of control.
Because they broke seats. They squirted lotion around. I don't know why. And they made a horrific mess. We got a call from a mom on that night, complaining to us that her experience was very bad with her sons.
And it's not just here. The chicken jockey trend is going viral, with young kids and teens posting themselves from theaters across the country.
Okay, this is absolutely
This is from
stupid.
Seaford Cinemas on Long Island, where police can be seen escorting several people out after a crowd of young theater goers got
Okay,
rowdy.
so
Some of the kids who were out.
okay, so I looked it up. The meme with chicken jockey is literally that it's just rare. The chicken jockey enemy is rare in Minecraft, and that's the meme. The meme is they yelled chicken jockey during the movie, and I guess the joke is everyone freaks out. That's the joke, guys. Haha, so funny. Oh man, I can't wait to go to the movies. That's gonna be such a great meme, guys. I'm gonna go to the movies, watch Minecraft at 24, and then when the chicken jockey appears, I'm gonna scream chicken jockey and just throw popcorn everywhere. That's how I'm gonna do that tonight. I'll record myself doing it. You know what? Someone sends me a Rumble rant, a nice fat Rumble rant. I'll actually do it. But otherwise, no. I don't have the money to go see a Minecraft movie, and even if I did have the money to see a Minecraft movie, I probably wouldn't. But I thought there was gonna be more to it than that. I thought there was gonna be more like, oh, chicken jockey. It means I don't know what I was thinking. I was not thinking like, oh, that's it. That's the joke. Chicken jockey. Haha. Haha. Haha, guys. Chicken jockey. Lol. Oh my god. So funny. Man, people are stupid nowadays. You know what's not stupid though? We'll see if I can get it to work, but I'll tell you something that's not stupid if it does work. What's not stupid is 1775 coffee, you guys. Week coffee is for the week, and at Rumble, week has never been a part of the mission. No fillers, no fraud, and no settling for mediocrity, just like 1775 coffee. It's single origin, small farm, hand-picked, specialty grade coffee that stands for quality, free speech, and calling out BS when it matters. Forget stale, mass-produced beans roasted just enough to hide the flaws. Dark roast hits like a Trump tariff. Medium roast keeps it bold without the bitterness. And Vitality Mushroom Blend, real energy and lasting focus. No synthetic garbage. For K-Cup pods, whole bean, or fresh ground coffee, go to 1775coffee.com. Use code STUDIO for 15% off and start your morning with coffee that stands for something. Oh, and every dollar spent enters you to win a Cybertruck and $30K in cash. I like that. I like that ad. That's a good ad. And I appreciate you guys tuning in so I could actually do those ads. And just in case everyone is curious, I made a whole 58 cents off that ad. Okay. That's what you guys are doing when you support me. When you support me, you're just sitting there chilling in the chat, and I read those ads. I get less than $1. So I'm not making money on these videos, really, guys. I'm doing it for fun. But I do like reading the ads. It's interesting. I can just stream Minecraft, and we'll all put our cameras on doing that. Yeah, hey Joey, let's do a Minecraft stream, bro. Outworld Live, dude. You could call the Minecraft world Outworld. I'm just saying, bro. Make a realm on Minecraft. I'll stream it. You stream it. We can have different perspectives, bro. Someone get me to convince Joey to play games on stream. I'm telling him he would get some views on that. I get decent views when I do my game streams every now and again. I didn't get good views last night, but the other night I had like almost 20 people watching me at 1:30 in the morning. And that's for Pacific Standard Time. So if they were watching in Eastern, they were dedicated. Let's see. China. China is always in the news. Everything we do revolves around China, of course. So I guess China is upset because the United States just sold a bunch of F-16s over to Taiwan. No one should be surprised about this. Clearly, we're going to defend Taiwan. Taiwan is our ally. We have a defense pact with them. If Taiwan gets attacked, we are going to defend them. Whether you think that's right or wrong, I mean, that's irrelevant. We will be defending Taiwan if that war breaks out. Do I think we would win that war? I don't know if we would put up a good fight. I don't even have Minecraft, lol. I don't have it on my PC either, Joey. But hey, look, someone rumble rant into Joey's show, or someone rumble rant into my show, and I will buy Minecraft for Joey. Okay, look, we can get this. We get this to happen. I was thinking about streaming Final Fantasy VI. No, Joey, no, Minecraft. It's got to be Minecraft. Look, I tried to get you to play Repo. You didn't want to play Repo. Repo is only $10. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah, no. So Taiwan is definitely a threat from China all the time. So obviously China doesn't like when we start selling them things to defend themselves. The U.S. has been arming Taiwan and the Philippines. Taipei received the first of 66 new U.S.-built F-16 C/D Block 70 fighter jets last month, while Manila's request to purchase 16 F-16C block fighter jets and 4 two-seat D models was approved earlier this month. Senior Colonel Zhang Zhaogang, spokesperson of the Chinese Defense Ministry, said at a press briefing on Wednesday that the sale of the U.S. aircraft to Taiwan cannot alter the balance of military strength across the Taiwan Strait, much less impede China's reunification. So again, China's just reiterating that they believe Taiwan should be a part of mainland China. And if you don't know, Taiwan is the real China. China was taken over by the Communist Party, the CCP, and Taiwan is the only state that's left of what used to be the Chinese government. So we do need to defend Taiwan. We don't need them falling to China, at the very least, until we can make our own semiconductors and computer chips. Because Taiwan makes all of that, a vast majority of that. It doesn't make all of them, but it was something like 70 to 80%. So we need to defend Taiwan in that regard, at least until we can get manufacturing going back. Hong Kong believes they're independent too. Well, yeah, they thought they were, but they're not. So... but it's harder for Hong Kong because Hong Kong is physically connected to them, physically connected to the mainland China. There's no way they could put up a fight. But Taiwan actually has the ability to fight back. So that's the difference between Hong Kong and Taiwan. Joey, if you're just chatting in the chat, you're welcome to come up, bro. I'm just saying. I wonder if the invite link works for Rumble Studio every time too. I should test it. But yeah, I don't have much to add on this story. It's just kind of like, oh no, China's upset that we're selling fighter jets to the people that they want to conquer. Oh no. But anyway, let's see what we have a lot of news to get through. So I don't mean to be going through them too quickly, but there are lots and lots of things to talk about. We have this from the Associated Press on Yahoo News. I'm sure all of you saw this yesterday. This was tragic. New York City sightseeing helicopter plunges into a river, killing 6, including a Spanish family and pilot. A New York City sightseeing helicopter broke apart in midair on Thursday and crashed upside down in the Hudson River, killing the pilot and a family of 5 Spanish tourists in the latest U.S. aviation disaster. The victims included Simon's executive Agustin Escobar, his wife Merce Cumbru Montal. I'm terrible with names. Don't give me foreign names. I'm sorry. A global manager at an energy technology company, and 3 children. In addition to the pilot, a person briefed on the investigation told the Associated Press the person could not disclose details of the investigation publicly and spoke on conditions of anonymity. The flight departed a downtown heliport around 3 p.m. and lasted less than 18 minutes. Radar data showed it flew north along the Manhattan skyline and then back south toward the Statue of Liberty. Video of the crash showed parts of the aircraft tumbling through the air in the water in the nearby shoreline. Witnesses described the helicopter's plunge into the Hudson. A witness there, Bruce Wall, said he saw it falling apart in midair, with the tail and rotor coming off. The main rotor was still spinning without the helicopter as it fell. And then there should be video of this somewhere. Okay, I don't have the video. No, go back. Let me get the video. Okay, so let me see if I can get the video real quick. I thought they were gonna have the video in that article, but articles are garbage, so should expect nothing less. Helicopter crash. Simon's executive and his family killed in New York City site. Yep. Okay. I think I have the clip here. Let me pull that up. Whoa, shut up. I didn't ask. Started playing the video. I've tried sending you 10 Rumble rants, but to buy Minecraft, Rumble is rejecting me. Hey, it's I don't know what to tell you, man. It was giving me the business yesterday. So if it's giving you the business today, I'm not surprised, honestly. Let's play this video from the helicopter crash, though.
Fell out of the sky and into the Hudson River near Manhattan. It happened just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Here is what we know right now. 3 adults and 3 children were killed in the crash, including tech CEO Augustin. Now, 3 adults and 3 children were killed in the crash, including tech CEO Augustin Escobar, his wife, and their 3 kids.
Why does it keep showing just like the end of the clip?
The FAA and NTSB. Escobar, his wife,
yeah, you can
and
see
their 3 kids.
You like barely saw the tail of it falling in.
The FAA and NTSB are now investigating what went wrong. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest.
No survivors. Yeah, that's crazy.
The sightseeing chopper appears to break apart, losing pieces of the rotor and tailpiece as it drops into the Hudson.
I heard like a weird noise, and when I looked up, I just saw it falling from the sky, and then just saw a big splash in the river.
Divers rushing into the water and wreckage within minutes of the crash. Firefighters and police staging along the shoreline, but quickly realizing there are no survivors.
At this time, all 6 victims have been removed from the water. And sadly, all 6 victims have been pronounced deceased.
Yeah, that's a very, very sad story. I'd like to know what happened with the helicopter. Probably just weren't keeping up on maintenance. I'm not sure. Let's see. I've tried to send you 10 Rumble rants yesterday, and now it won't let me make any rants. Rejected you 5 times yesterday, and now it won't. So Blanco and Stork can't Rumble rant me. That's unfortunate. I messaged you before, but I used a hard R N-word. I'm at my job right now. I'll give you my opinion after the show. Love you, man. Yeah, Rumble doesn't let you say that in the chat, Magnum Copus. Sorry. Rumble's for free speech, but they don't go that far, evidently. How does this ish keep happening? Good question, man. But this wasn't a commercial flight. This was a private flight. So they don't have to adhere to the same rules and regulations as the commercial flights. So it could just be that they weren't keeping up with maintenance. It could just be that it was falling into disrepair, and they're like, screw it, keep going. Because to fall apart mid-air like that, you're supposed to go through checks and everything before it goes airborne. So I feel like they just weren't keeping up with maintenance. I saw that. I just didn't respond. It's all good, man. I just sent out links to a handful of people and hope someone shows up. Well, thank you, Blanco, for linking people to stream. I greatly appreciate that, my good buddy. Okay, I have so many news. I'm just looking at all the tabs I have on the top of my bar here. I have so many. What do we get into next? We're already at 24 minutes into the stream. Oh man, so much news to get into today. What do I talk about? What do I talk about next? Let's. I wanted to read this article on stream. The desalination of water, I feel like, is very important to just everything in our world. We have an entire, the planet is mostly water, but there's such a small percentage that we can actually use, such a small percentage that we can actually use. So if we can actually successfully desalinate the oceans for, other uses, that'd be great. And we have this article from SciTech Daily, $6.9 billion solution. Engineers unveil cleaner, cheaper way to desalinate seawater. Water desalination plants may soon be able to eliminate the use of costly chemicals by using new carbon cloth electrodes that remove boron from seawater, an essential step in making seawater safe to drink. The technology is detailed in a study published in Nature Water by engineers from the University of Michigan and Rice University. Boron, a naturally occurring element in seawater, becomes a toxic contaminant in drinking water when it passes through standard salt removal filters. Its concentration in seawater is about twice the World Health Organization's most relaxed safety limit for drinking water, and 5 to 12 times higher than what many crops can tolerate. So what that's basically saying is it's not safe to drink, and you definitely can't water plants with it. But anyone who's anyone should know that about seawater. Most reverse osmosis membranes don't remove very much boron, so desalination plants typically have to do some post-treatment to get rid of the boron, which can be expensive. Let's see. We developed a new technology that's fairly scalable and can remove boron in an energy-efficient way compared to some of the conventional technologies. In seawater, boron exists as electrically neutral boric acid, so it passes through reverse osmosis membranes that typically remove salt by repelling electrically charged atoms and molecules called ions. To get around this problem, desalination plants normally add a base to their treated water, which causes boric acid to become negatively charged. Another stage of reverse osmosis removes the newly charged boron, and the base is neutralized afterward by adding acid. Those extra treatment steps can be costly. So they basically discovered a new way, a new filter that they can run this water through and get it to desalinate. So I think that's pretty cool. I just wanted to mention that. I don't want to go through and read all this, big science, sciencey gobbledygook. Well, actually, this article's not as long as I thought. Maybe I should read the whole thing. Screw it. I'll read it. I'll read the whole thing. Our device, it reduces the chemical and energy demands of seawater desalination, significantly enhancing environmental sustainability and cutting cost up to 15% or around 20 cents per cubic meter of treated water. Global savings in water access. Given the global desalination capacity totaled 95 million cubic meters per day in 2019, the new membranes could save around $6.9 billion annually. Large desalination plants such as San Diego's Claude Bud Lewis Carlsbad Desalination Plant, that's a long name, could save millions of dollars in a year. Those kinds of savings could help make seawater a more accessible source of drinking water and alleviate the growing water crisis. Fresh water supplies are expected to meet 40% of demand by 2030, according to a 2023 report from the Global Commission on Economic Water. I don't need to read the rest of it, but super interesting story, especially for places like California. We definitely need this. We need this in places like California. We need the water. So I think it's a good story. Not everything has to be about politics. I want to bring up stories that aren't politics related all the time. Like I have another story that I'll pull up. I won't pull it up back to back, but it's another non-political story that I thought was good. Let me try to compile all of my China stories. These are not organized very well. Let's see. That's a big story. I wanted to talk about that. Another big story. We have some big stories that I do want to talk about. Okay, here we go. So, in retaliation to the tariffs that the United States put on China has decided to, obviously do their own in response. There it is. Okay, I have it ordered a certain way at the top of my search bar, but when I go to actually share the screen, it's not in the same order. It's a little frustrating. Okay, so we put 125% tariff on them. China's like, all right, well, we'll put 125% tariff on you. Well, I mean, that didn't work out because, oh, wait, so now we're at 145%. I thought that's what we did in response to their 125%. Okay, I think this guy's confused. Pop base, I think he's confused. So China did their 125% tariff, and in retaliation, the United States has done 145%. So we're just going tit for tat, going back and forth with the trade war. I don't know at what point this will stop. I say, you know what I say? Just put that up to 400%. Just 400%. Bam, just knock it out of the water. Make sure they come to the table. I don't know. Aurora Sausage Party. Hey, that's a not a bad TV show. It was interesting. I watched all of the first season. Oh wait, it might be 2 seasons. The Sausage Party movie is crazy. The Sausage Party TV show also crazy, but I thought it was interesting. I like the way they depict the juice. But yeah, not a whole lot to add on this. I mean, tariffs, China. Those are my thoughts. It's ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous. At what point does it end? We're just getting. It seems like we're on track for a hot conflict or something. Because the more and more we do these tariffs, China's cutting off ties with the film industry in the United States. We're thinking about cutting China out of our stock market. You look at what's going on with Taiwan. We're selling them a bunch of new weapons and vehicles. China's threatening to, take Taiwan back still. They've been doing that for a long time. But if we cut ties with them, who's whose member is bigger in the conflict with the tariffs? Yeah, but that's a good way to put it, Aurora. Yeah, whose member is bigger in the conflict? Well, clearly, voice crack. Oh my god. Well, clearly, the United States has the bigger member. China has. Well, actually, the United States has the perfect member. Okay, our member is. It's not may not be the biggest, but it is the greatest. China, they've got a pretty big member, but that means they've got a lot more to lose. Puberty, I know. Puberty at 24. It's very unfortunate. I'm such a late bloomer. It happens. But anyway, so yeah, tariffs, and China. All crazy things. China's dick is tiny. It's the motion of the ocean. Hey, Blanco, the only reason I use that analogy is because China's got more to lose, brother. They have more to lose. That's why I love all the tariffs and everything going on right now, because it's like, oh no, we're getting hit by 125% tariff. China has to sell their stuff to us. We don't really sell things to China. So when they hit us with a tariff like that, it's like, oh no, the Hollywood movies that you probably shouldn't be consuming anyway. I don't want China having to consume Snow White. I don't want Americans consuming Snow White. So I just think it's funny. So the whole tariff thing with China is just ridiculous, because it affects us, but it affects China way more. They're the ones selling to us. So it's just funny. It's just funny to me. Let's see. Let's talk about what we got a lot of so much news. Let's divert over to Russia, because it wouldn't be a politic video without China and Russian. Excuse me. So Trump's envoy meets Russian officials amid ceasefire talks. Excuse me. So today, Steve Witkoff, President Trump's special envoy. Why does they have to say special? What's so special about this guy? He arrived in Russia and met with Kirill Dmitriev, head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, at the Grand Evropa Hotel in St. Petersburg. Witkoff is also expected to meet with Vladimir Putin later today. Amidst these diplomatic engagements, there is a possibility of new U.S. sanctions against Russia if a ceasefire in Ukraine is not agreed upon by the end of April. Part of that ceasefire needs to be agreed upon by Zelensky and the UK, evidently. So I don't know. Doesn't China buy soybeans and corn from us? Probably, but that's food, right? So if they're not getting food from us, then that's on them. Can we just tell China they're committing humanitarian crimes against the people of DPRK and tell them to F it? Human rights crimes. Who's DPR? What's DPRK? Because I know about the Uyghur Muslims, but what is that acronym? I don't know that acronym. See, the problem with that, right? Because China is one of the most egregious when it comes to human rights offenses. But if we start playing that game, then there's a lot of allies we got to start dropping, which I'm all for. I'm all for dropping allies if we're going to be dropping allies. But like I said, we do need allies in the world. It is what it is. Not everyone in the world is as great as the United States, though I would like them to be. Oh, I got a bad tickle in my throat. Jesus. Oh, I got that on video. Nice. I'll get to watch that back later. Again, I haven't even smoked today yet. I'm already coughing. North Korea, dude. I don't know. Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Oh. Wait, isn't that Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-un is doing that to his people? Or does China, control everything in North Korea? I can't speak. Losing my voice. Yes, but look, I got to get this out there too. I'm always looking for guests on the show, guys. I'm trying to include everyone in the community. It's nice to have someone to talk back and forth with. So if someone wants to come up here and talk with me about any of the news going on, all you have to do is message me on Discord, or if you have my Discord, message me on Discord. If you don't have my Discord, you can message me on X. And I am more than willing to give anyone the opportunity to come up here and talk. Obviously, if you're disruptive or you start trying to get the channel banned, I have ways to deal with you. But I will always give everyone at least one chance. They have heavily involvement with their government. Yeah, I know that. Not fam, I'm at work. But you're typing in the chat. It wasn't just for you, Aurora. It's just for anyone. Plus, this will be a video after, so if someone sees it in the future, they know that the invite is out there. Because I have people on when I can, but if I could have people on more frequently, that'd be great. At some point, I'd like to set up a debate show. That'd be really cool. Because I'm doing my show tomorrow. It's gonna be a special Rumble Premium show, but it's not. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with it. Like I don't know if it's. I'm gonna see how it goes. With the show tomorrow, Tyler Today Deep Dives. We're going to see how that goes tomorrow. And if I like it, I'll keep doing it. If not, then I need to find something else to do. But at some point, I would like to do Tyler Today debates. That'd be really cool. So, like, if you have someone you want to debate, or if I find people that I think would be good for a debate, I want to set that up. I want to get that going. But hopefully we see a ceasefire in Ukraine soon. We need to start seeing a close to a lot of these conflicts. Because if we don't, I mean, the more we see of this, the more we see with China, the more we see with Ukraine, Israel, the more and more likely first debate is gay gay sex haram. Well, Blanco, the answer to that would be yes. So there's no debate needed for that topic. I don't know. One of you guys can debate me about why I believe gay marriage it doesn't exist, or my thoughts on transgender people, or how I believe that we should abolish the practice of abortion altogether. I don't know. It doesn't always have to be me debating, though. It's not like, oh, come and debate me. I'm so good at debating. I was more thinking, like, if someone wants to debate me, sure, I'll debate. But I was more thinking I'd be a moderator. Like, I moderate two people debating and then try to, like, guide the conversation. That's more what I want to do. But I also like arguing. So either works. Either one works. Let's go to the next story. I still got a lot to go through up here. Let's see. I don't know why I pulled this up. Let me just put this over here. Oh, whoa. What's going on here? Oh, I have my YouTube live stream up and I have my Rumble live stream up and the volume is playing in my ears. Stop that. What do I want to pull up next? I wanted to see this story. So it looks like Space Force Colonel was relieved after a critical email. Colonel Susan Myers of the U.S. Space Force, stationed at Pitufik Space Base in Greenland, was relieved of her command following an email she sent to base personnel. The email criticized Vice President J.D. Vance's visit and expressed concerns that the issues discussed did not reflect the situation at Pitufik. Pitufik. Okay. Whatever. Can we just take over Greenland and rename these goddamn places? Myers was removed due to a loss of confidence in her ability to lead, according to official statements. Do we have the email? Okay, that's a press release. I want to see this email. Man, can I not see the email? Colonel Susan Myers, commander, blah blah blah. Standard conduct. Okay, well, either way. So just based off what we're reading here, all I've got to say is good. Members of the military should not publicly criticize the current government or the current administration. You are in the military. You're a colonel in the military. If you have some disagreements or something like that, you go behind closed doors and you deal with that with them personally. You don't make public statements. You don't send emails out to the entire base. That's incredibly petty. There's ways to go about it. Goodbye, Susan. You will not be missed. yeah, I mean, if you're gonna publicly criticize the vice president and what they're doing, you need to do that behind closed doors. You have channels to work through to go and talk to JD Vance. You do not need to make public statements about that, especially as someone who is a member in the military, a high-ranking position in the military. So that just looks terrible on our end if we don't do anything about it. So yes, she should be relieved. You don't make public statements as a colonel when regarding politics. That's not something you do. So goodbye, Susan. Susan Myers. Maybe we'll get someone over there in Greenland that'll actually conquer Greenland when we say so. Because if Susan doesn't like JD Vance, I have a feeling she wouldn't have taken Greenland for us. Good to see everybody in the chat today. Blanco, sick of shitty gov. Is Matt Stork here today? I didn't see Stork today. Yeah, I know. Matt Stork was here. He was here. I saw him. I see him in the chat. Got a lot of familiar faces today. Always appreciate the support, guys. Let's see. So we got a few things to talk about regarding El Salvador. Let me find the other story so I have them ready to go next to each other. Where is it? Oh, come on. I didn't pull it up. I'm missing a story, guys. I'm missing a story. Okay, I'll find it. Don't worry. Let's see. Annex everything, turn it all into casino resorts, Trump Gaza everywhere. He was here. Yeah, Matt Stork was here. Annex everything. Look, man, I'm all for taking Canada. I'm all for taking Greenland, and then taking everything from California and Texas all the way to Panama. We'll just take all of that. That should be America. That should be the United States right there. I'm not saying we should give them voting power though. That's asking a little too much. No voting power for those people. No. If they were responsible enough to vote, we wouldn't need to annex them. That's my thought. Excuse me. So I wanted to talk about El Salvador because there was a new Supreme Court ruling, which I will pull up after this. Excuse me. But so thanks to El Salvador and everything that's been going on over there, they are now at level 1 in terms of tourist safety. El Salvador has been recognized by the U.S. Department as a level 1 travel destination, indicating it is among the safest countries for travelers. This change in travel advisory reflects a significant improvement in the country's security situation, attributed to efforts led by President Nayib Bukele, who various social media posts expressed surprise and praise for this development, highlighting El Salvador's transformation into a safer destination compared to some other countries. So, El Salvador has been cracking down hard on their gangs. Basically, if you are affiliated with a gang in any way, you're screwed. Tyler, I'll allow it. Sounds like a good start. Yeah, right? Blanco says, send in a Rumble rant for $5 if you see this. I'll Venmo you as soon as I see it. My main account won't let me send, and my burner lost its status once the Rumble Premium phased out. Oh, damn. Wait, can you not send Rumble rants if you don't have premium? I'm confused. I am confused. Am confuzzled. But yeah, no, so it's really cool to see that El Salvador has come such a long way. If I'm not mistaken, El Salvador used to be the murder capital of the world, right? El Salvador. I believe it was, and they didn't like that image, so they changed it. So yeah, 2017, 1 murder every hour from the. This is from the Guardian. So El Salvador used to statistically there was 1 murder every hour in El Salvador just 8 years ago. So they have come a very long way. You need to verify it by phone number, and I only have 1 phone number. That makes sense. You can only chat from 1 account at a time. Okay, that makes sense. So what's it called? Yeah, El Salvador has come a very long way. This is really good news. Happy to see that one of the South American countries are improving. Really good to see. But we had another story from the Supreme Court. Let me see if I could find it here while I have this up. Yep, here it is. The U.S. Supreme Court has unanimously ruled that the Trump administration must facilitate the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland resident who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The decision upholds a previous court order that protected Abrego Garcia from removal. Supreme Court's ruling requires the government to take action to bring Abrego Garcia back to the United States, though a specific deadline for his return has not been set. The attorney for Kilmar Abrego, the Maryland man who was accidentally deported to El Salvador, says that him and the family have not been able to contact him and don't know his current condition. Absolutely unacceptable. Bring him home. I mean, if this guy, look, so there's some nuance to this, right? If this guy is a gang member and it can be proven that he's a gang member, then I don't see a reason to bring him back. I don't think he needs a trial. We need to get going with these mass deportations. I don't think all these people need trials. If it's like blatant and obvious that, like, hey, you have gang tattoos, you've crimes committed before that are gang related, get the F out. But if it's something like, oh, you've been here for 30 years, you came here when you were 9, you never got citizenship, there should probably be a hearing for that. Like, I don't think someone who came here at 9 years old and has been here for 30 years should be deported. Even though they're here illegally, I don't think they should be deported. I don't think someone who came here at 9, now they're 39 years old, about to be 40. I don't think we should deport that person. There should be a court hearing for them. Talk with them about why they never got their citizenship, and then the court order should be, okay, well, we start the proceedings now. You are now in the proceedings to get your citizenship because you never did it before. And if you failed to do so by such and such date, then you'll be deported. For situations like that, I think there should be, a hearing. But in all other cases, when we're talking about like gang members or people that have already committed crimes in the United States or other countries, and we know it without a shadow of a doubt that they've committed these crimes, yeah, send them back. Is this guy an illegal or a U.S. citizen? I think he was neither. I think he was neither. If I remember, when I was looking into this, he was neither. He's not illegal, but he's not a citizen. He was a legal resident. But speaking of legal residents, I think that is a great segue, in fact. Speaking of legal residents, let me friggin' pull up this other story. I got some big stories to get into in just a moment. Okay, here we go. So speaking of legal residents, the Trump administration has listed 6,000 Latino immigrants as deceased. Now, when you read that title, you're like, huh, were they already dead, or like what's going on here? You need to verify it by phone. Okay, we already read that one. So what's going on here? What's going on here is that a lot of the illegals that came over, they were given social security numbers, and the Trump administration, in order to basically revoke those social security numbers, has decided to label them as deceased. So I found that pretty interesting. That's an interesting tactic. I'm adjusting my camera here. I had it slimmed down for reasons that I shall not discuss. Oh wait. Right there. Bam. There we go. Okay. Now you get I want you to see my hand movements. But anyway. So yeah, he labeled them as deceased in order to get rid of. Geez, this is a tough one. Deport a politician instead of him if he is actually American and not a fake one like Antifa. Yeah, that's what I said. Like, there's a lot of nuance to that situation. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's a gang member," blah blah blah. If he is, like I said, if he is a gang member, yes, he should remain deported. But if we can't prove that he's a gang member and he hasn't committed other crimes, and he's just in the United States illegally, there's got to be like a deadline. Kind of like I've brought this up with Joey. It's got to be like squatters' rights at a certain point, right? Like if someone comes here and they're here for 20, 30 years and they just never got citizenship, you should take them to court, figure out why they haven't gotten their citizenship, and then give them a deadline to get their citizenship. Otherwise, they will be deported. I don't think you should be like, oh, you've been here 30 years and you're illegal. Oh, get out of here. They've already built their life here. They likely already have a family. We've already seen stories like this happening. In situations like that, you should force them to become a citizen. Make them go through the process. If they fail that process or fail to complete the process, then yes, deport them. But I think they should at least be given a chance at a certain point. They get squatters' rights to a certain extent. If you're here for like, more than 20 years, if you're able to hide here for more than 20 years and we don't catch you because our government sucks, and then we finally catch you, I think it should be like, all right, we'll give you a chance to get citizenship, but you got to go if you don't. If you're a kid who, against your will, was dragged here by parents, by kid I mean under 10, they had no choice. Right, and that's what we've talked about before. If they've been here 20 years and also committed crimes, though, I'm out. Yeah, no, if like I said, if they've been here, if they've been here more than 20 years and the only crime they ever committed was crossing the border illegally, that's their only crime. They never committed any subsequent crimes. I think we should force them to become a citizen, not deport them. The court order should be to force them to go through the citizen application process. The court order should not be to deport them in that case. But if they've been here over 20 years and they've committed subsequent crimes, absolutely get out. Tyler, I can agree with you if they love the US of A. If they are pulling BS in our country, then afuera. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And they should also assimilate. Hopefully everyone coming here, legally or not, plan to assimilate. I want people to assimilate into American culture. I don't go to Mexico expecting people to learn English for me. I would expect the same when people come over here. I'm not going to learn Spanish for you. You should learn English for me because you're in my country. If I go live in Mexico, I will learn Spanish. That's how it should be done. But that's an interesting tactic by the Trump administration. So because of this, now that they have their social security numbers revoked, essentially, assimilation is dead. Half our country is communist. Yeah, but that's why we need assimilation, right? We need them to assimilate into true American values, not this weird commie BS like we see in California. So anyway, Trump admin lists 6,000 Latino immigrants as deceased. The Trump administration has added the names of and social security numbers of over 6,000 mostly Latino immigrants to a database used by the Social Security Administration to track deceased individuals. This action effectively prevents the immigrants from receiving benefits or working legally in the U.S. The move is a part of a broader strategy to pressure immigrants to self-deport by revoking their social security numbers, which were previously granted when they obtained a work authorization. So that's interesting. They came here legally. They got work authorization. And then because of the work authorization, they got social security numbers. I'm assuming because of tax reasons. And Donald Trump has essentially revoked that with this decision. So interesting decision. If people were here legally to work, I mean, I'm fine with people being here legally to work. So I don't know. I would have to look into it more, but I'm not a big fan of it. Oh, I just noticed Blanco actually shared my stuff on Twitter. Let me like and retweet that. Thank you, Blanco. Blanco, am I following you on? Okay, yeah, I am. DMs. I got a DM from. Okay. All right. Next story. We got still got a bunch to talk about. Bunch of stuff to talk about. Let's see. Okay. So I want to find the actual files on this. Maybe tomorrow's deep dive will be about this. Russiagate binder released. Crossfire hurricane files have been made public. The Federalist has released a collection of documents known as the Russiagate binder, which consists of 7 files totaling hundreds of pages related to the FBI's 2016 investigation into alleged ties between Russia and the Trump campaign, known as Crossfire Hurricane. These documents have been made available to the public for review on the Federalist scribed page. The release includes sensitive raw intelligence on Russian agents and has been declassified by the FBI. Has obtained Russiagate binder, which consists of the... Okay, so we already read that. And then it's good that the Crossfire Hurricane documents have come out, but they don't tell the full and accurate picture. The following is the most important information to declassify and release to the American people. The time is now. George Papadopoulos? Okay, well, what is this? I kind of want to show the video that he shared. Published 700 pages of declassified Crossfire Hurricane. So, I mean, this is the stuff that they used to go after Donald Trump. It ended up being a whole big nothing burger. But it would be interesting to see like what kind of evidence they were allegedly finding. Corruption General Flynn faced. Now is the time to watch Flynn deliver the truth. whatever the cost, at flynnmovie.com. Witness his courageous story against the rigged system. So yeah, we'll get more updates as people rifle through this. But I mean, it's 700 pages. It's going to take a little while. This just came out late last night, so we're still waiting on some information on that. I myself obviously haven't read the documents. I have not had the time to read 700 pages. But still interesting to see that we are finally getting those documents released. And while those documents are getting released, Donald Trump is now looking into the 2020 election. Tacos assimilated quite well. That is some great food. I'll have to agree there, Blanco. Not Blanco. Well, Blanco looks like he agreed in the chat. But I'll have to agree with that, Shitty Gov. Definitely. Let's see. Where Trump orders. There it is. Trump orders the investigation into Krebs and Taylor over 2020 election. On April 9th, 2025, President Trump signed an executive order revoking the security clearance of Chris Krebs, the former director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA, and instructed the Department of Justice to investigate Krebs' actions related to the 2020 election. Krebs had previously stated that the 2020 election was the most secure in American history, a claim that has been protested by some. The executive order also directed the investigation of Miles Taylor. The move has sparked a variety of reactions, with some viewing it as an abuse of power and others seeing it as a necessary step to investigate election integrity. Well, I also have this other story up by Tulsi Gabbard. I'll pull up just after this. But yeah, Donald Trump's been saying that there's been a ton of fraud in the 2020 election. And now here he is, actually putting in the work to find out if there actually was. So let's play a bit of this clip.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. A presidential memorandum to the one you just signed.
Video keeps freezing.
And further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, a badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way that they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed. And maybe, I don't know, never mentioned, but I mentioned it, 42 or 43 people so badly injured, the legs, the arms, blown off, the face. And this is all because of an incompetent group of people that preceded us. And that would have never happened. And this guy Krebs was saying, the election was great. It was great. Well, it's been proven that it was not only not great. When you look at all these lawyers and law firms that are signing, giving us hundreds of millions of dollars. It was proven by so many different ways in so many different forms, from the legislatures not approving to the that worked from all of the.
So the same reason. So okay, how do I want to word this? The same reason that I'm happy COVID happened is the same reason I'm happy that Donald Trump didn't get reelected in 2020. COVID opened the eyes of so many people. It gave the government and corrupt officials the room and the power to take away our rights and change this country for the worse. And with that, it opened a ton of people's eyes. And so did 2020 to 2024. That opened so many people's eyes. And I don't think we would be getting as good a Trump presidency as we are now if we saw him win 2020. I think the presidency in 2020 for Trump would have been great. Don't get me wrong. I still support Trump. But I think the past 4 years of him not being president, having to sit on the sidelines, watching them trying to ruin his life and ruin the country, I think it really woke Donald Trump up. And I think it woke a lot of other people up as well. So as much as I hate that Biden won and we had to deal with him for that long, I also do appreciate that it did change a lot of people's perspectives on things, much like COVID did. So in that regard, it is good. But it's terrible that all these things had to happen in order for us to get where we are. But so we'll see if anything comes of this. This is really interesting. I know Joey has been very excited to see people investigated over the election fraud. I know Joey really wants to see people, investigated over COVID. But Joey, I got to tell you, I don't think that's going to happen, man. That affect, just like the Epstein stuff. The reason the Epstein stuff doesn't get released quicker, it affects both sides. It affects both sides when you do that, and when it affects both sides, it doesn't get looked into. COVID would affect Donald Trump a lot too. He starts, we need a rest, man. I know we need a rest. But like when it comes to COVID, because I know COVID's a big thing for everybody. Donald Trump's not going to look into that. I don't see Donald Trump looking into it. From a moral standpoint, yes. From a moral standpoint, of course, we need to look into these things. Everything immoral needs to be disinfected with the brightest light ever. It needs to all be out in the open. But when it comes to Donald Trump played a massive part in COVID. And if he starts investigating people like Dr. Fauci or what was going on in the Wuhan lab or whatever, starts investigating the vaccine, some of that could fall on him. If it comes out that the vaccine was this terrible, experiment that actually does harm people, I'm not saying it does, talk to a doctor. But if it turns out that was the case and Donald Trump is partly to blame for that, he doesn't want that. Donald Trump doesn't want that. The Democrats don't want it. Republicans don't want it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants to find out what happened during COVID because they know it'll screw both parties over, which, I mean, good. I think that should happen, but I'm just explaining why it won't. For a moral standpoint and morale. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree, Joey. We both agree on this. This should and must be investigated. I'm just saying I don't think it will be. The 2020 election, I was waiting for him to do that. I figured he would. It was one of the biggest things he talked about the past 4 years. It was tariffs and how they stole the election. So I was waiting for him to start investigating people relating that, but I sincerely don't think anything's going to happen regarding COVID for a very long time, if at all. And it's unfortunate. But again, we'll see what happens with that. We've got about 30 minutes left, and I want to make sure I get to all of these stories today. So speaking of vaccines and our health and COVID and yada, yada, let's talk about RFK Jr. He is targeting the cause of autism. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced a comprehensive research initiative aimed at identifying the cause of the rising autism rates with a target completion rate. I can't speak today. Maybe I got some tism. Data set for September. The initiative will involve hundreds of scientists globally and focus on pinpointing specific environmental exposures that may contribute to autism. This effort comes amid reported increases in the autism prevalence from 1 in 10,000 to approximately 1 in 31 children. Yeah, that is egregious. That change is egregious. What's the percentage on that? What's the percentage of 1 out of 10,000? It's like oh, here, wait, I know it. It's 0.01%. So it used to be 0.01% would get autism, and now it's like, what is that? It's 5%. So it's like 3 to 5%. Like that's astronomical increase. Or I feel like I did the math wrong on that. What's the percentage of 1 out of 31? Isn't that like 3 to 5%? I'm not doing math right now. I'm good at math, I promise. I don't feel like doing it right now. My back is hurting too much. I'd rather just keep talking. So we'll see if this puzzle pieces laying everywhere. I know, puzzle pieces laying everywhere. I hope he can get to the root of the issue. Is it the food that we eat? Is it the things they're putting in the food? Is it the stuff they put in the water? Is it the chemicals in the air? There's a massive amount of brake dust in cities, that everyone's constantly breathing in, just along with other chemicals just from cars and all the technology we have around us. It could be technology. It could be 5G. 1 out of 100 is 1%. 1 out of 30 is 3%. Hey, so I was right. So it was 3%. I did say 5% too, though. So I gave two answers, but I did say 3%. But no, there's so many different factors that could be contributing to this. It could be all the issues, or it could be one of the issues. So I hope he gets down to the root of this problem. Because personally, I want to have a healthy and happy kid at some point. And I don't want that. I mean, this is a fear for me, right? When you look at all the stuff they put in the vaccine schedule, you look at all the things that's just going on in the world today. I want what's best for my kid. And I don't plan on having kids anytime soon. I want to be able to support. I can't even support myself right now. There's no way I could support a kid, but I would love to have a family someday. And getting to the root of issues like this are very important to me. So hopefully we get more news on that. But I totally jumped the gun because we were talking about election stuff. So let's go back to that because I actually had another story for that. My bad, guys. I just wanted to talk about vaccines. My bad. Anyway, so going back to election and election integrity, Tulsi Gabbard, she has revealed that voting machines are vulnerable, which is something that everyone knows. So, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has announced that her office has obtained evidence indicating that electronic voting systems are vulnerable to hackers and exploitation, which could potentially manipulate election results. This vulnerability has been a long-standing issue, prompting investigations into the election integrity. In response to these findings, there is a push for the implementation of paper ballots nationwide to restore the voter trust in the electoral process. Yes, 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 yes. Why do we not have paper ballots? I want to know that when I have a paper. I have a paper that I fill out, right? Why is that not what's being counted? Why is it put through a machine to count it? There's no reason we can't hand count these things. Give jobs to people, man. Come on, like automation's taking away all these jobs, and I want my election to be as integral as possible, right? I want max integrity, and max integrity does not say electronic devices because they are vulnerable to manipulation. And it's much easier to manipulate things when all you're doing is looking at a computer. You can change the numbers. It needs to be an open source code anyone can look up, or paper ballots. I don't know much about open source coding. I'm not a coder. I have heard that before. I just don't know if that's safe enough. That's why I go the paper ballot route, like you're saying. Paper ballots, absolutely. But this would help both sides. If we had paper ballots being counted, we would be able to audit that much easier than just some computer generated nonsense. And even besides that, this would shut up both sides of the political party. In 2020, a bunch of Republicans were complaining that the election was stolen and rigged. In 2025, a bunch of Democrats have been complaining Elon Musk stole the election and blah, blah, blah. This would shut both sides up. If it's open source, anyone can see how the machine operates. So if it's something fishy, you can sue with real evidence. Yeah, that would be good too. I gave this a lot of thought previously. Mad Stork, you're welcome to come and give your thoughts now if you'd like. I still got 25 minutes of show left, brother. DM me on Discord. But no, I think this is great. So we have Donald Trump looking into people that affected the 2020 election, and we have Tulsi Gabbard now looking into current and future elections and the integrity of those. So I think it's great. I love it. Most of this is common sense. It's the corrupt and stupid who are against all of this. Yeah, but I mean, people just go about their day, man. There's a lot of people that just don't look at things. They don't care necessarily. When I was working at Albertsons, I would talk constantly with people talking about politics, and I was baffled by how little they knew. Obviously, everyone hears about like the big stories. Like everyone knew about. I mean, I wasn't working at the time when the Tesla explosion happened in front of Trump Tower, but everyone knew about that, right? There's just certain stories that just people just know about, but then there's they always miss key details or certain context. Like people just they don't look at it. They don't listen to it. They rather go about their day. They rather go do something else, which I don't blame them. That's why that's part of the reason why I find so much joy in looking at the news and stuff like that. And I don't want to say joy because there's also often a lot of bad in the news. But the reason I get excited talking about the news is because it's important. It actually matters. I could sit here and memorize all the different plays in a sports league, but that's not going to matter nearly as much 5-10 years from now as remembering some of these stories that we're bringing up today. Like, 5-10 years down the line, we'll be talking about how we got where we are now, and we'll be talking about the Trump presidency and what went wrong and what could have gone better. And I'll be able to recall certain stories like, hey, that's not true, or hey, this actually happened. It's just very important. This is history in the making. When you see stories like this, history books will be written about some of these stories 10-20 years from now. There are people in elementary, middle, and high school that will read about the president that didn't win his second term, but the first time, but won it non-consecutively, and in the process of getting to that election was nearly assassinated twice. He actually was shot one of those times. They will read that in a history book. We were there for that. We were here in the making of history, and that's why I like paying attention to the news so much. You've been DM'd on Discord. Now was I, Mad Stork? Sorry, Mad Stork. I went on a rant there. I can keep going with the news rant while I wait for you. But no, the news is so important, guys, and that's why you should follow my channel. I care very deeply about the news and what's going on in the world. I do not pick sides. If tomorrow Democrats came out with something that made sense, I would back it 100%. I don't pick sides. I try not to pick sides. I want to be on the winning team. I want to be on the side of truth. I want to be on the side of reality. I do not want to be on the side of nonsense. I do not want to be on the side of people trying to ban South Park. I'm looking at you, Republicans. I'm not going to agree with Republicans on everything. As of right now, I would probably be considered a Republican, but that's just because they are mostly right on things. So that's just a fact of life right now. Mad Stork, I did DM you. There he is. Mad Stork had something to add on this. Okay. Mad Stork, whenever you're ready, you can get going on your spiel. I want to thank Mad Stork for coming to the stage, add his 2 cents while he's getting his mic ready. But yeah, guys, support the channel, like, follow, all that good stuff. Support me. I want to give you guys the best and most truthful of aspects of the news. And welcome to the stage, Mad Stork. Hello, Mad Stork.
Hello. Basically, I gave this a lot of thought after, because I was just becoming of age to vote back in 2001 when the Bush thing happened, and then I was, obviously an adult when everything happened with the first round. And the easy answer to it is you have an open source system, you have air gaps, so nothing can touch you. Then after all the votes are done, or on a periodic basis or whatever, they report to a local machine there where you're voting. And then as you vote, you get a paper ballot. You turn that in after you're done voting, the same way you would as a regular paper ballot, have it be on a printout kind of thing, right? So you have a paper ballot and you have an electronic ballot, okay? And that local machine or whatever occasionally reports to a district machine. So you have the voting machine, the local machine, the district machine, and then you have the paper ballot. At the end of the evening, all district machines have everything tallied up, send it into the state machine. You're literally done for the evening. That is the preliminary vote count.
Somehow California would still take 3 weeks.
Because they're fucking retarded. But literally, you have a preliminary voting count. Literally, the second the vote, you could give it like a 30-minute delay, but you could have 99% of a preliminary vote count in. You could collect all of the hardware from the district machines, like on hard drives and stuff, do a backup check of all of that to verify that what was delivered to the state machines is correct, have that by the next morning, verify it by that afternoon that it was correct one more time, and then you still have the paper ballot that you could verify within a couple of days, essentially, by feeding it through a machine. That way the person can see and verify what they voted for was correct. You have all of these machines checking at every level. That way, if there was a hack, you know where the hack was and everything like that. Everything's open source. Code can be reviewed. The entire thing can make voting basically done within 30 minutes of the poll closing.
I mean, yeah, that would definitely be the most optimal thing to do. But regardless, they need to secure the voting systems. Like I was saying before you got up on the stage, this should be a bipartisan issue. Like both sides complain and yell from the rooftops that the election was stolen every time an election gets lost.
It literally isn't even a question. Like it's really that simple, and I do not understand. Like because like so I'm around several groups and stuff like that, and those groups, some of them are like only paper ballots. Paper ballots are the only way to do it, and I'm like, yeah, paper ballots are the best backup system for the long term of whatever it is.
I think it should be both.
It should be both.
Yeah.
And so I don't understand why there's so much.
If it was both, we'd have even more checks and balances.
Correct. You would have more checks and balances, and everything would be instant, so you wouldn't have any of that.
You make it instant, and then when you go to audit, you're like, oh, these numbers in the computer are not matching up what we have physically.
Well, the other side of it was, and I've thought about this for a long time too, I think honestly we should have 2 days of voting. I think all of it should be done on 2 days, and I think all mail-in ballots should be done the day before any of that is like done. So you would literally have like you would have paper ballots on, let's say, what would that be, like Sunday? You would have the first day of voting on Monday, and you have the second voting day on Tuesday, because it's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesdays, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you'd be completely done. You'd have mail-in ballots have to be received, not mailed, but received by that Sunday. You'd have the first day of voting and second day of voting, and you'd be done. Literally, shit would be done. I do not understand the confusion behind it, but that's just me.
Yeah, I was gonna. People are confused about a lot of things, man. I mean, they what's called. You feel free to stay on stage. We're gonna what's called. We still got like 15 minutes.
Okay, cool.
But what's called. So the next story I was gonna bring up, because talking about people are just idiots. They don't know what's going on. Let's see. Oh, now I found the story. The Supreme Court ordered the return of the deported Maryland man. I already gave my thoughts on that, though. What I wanted to talk about, because it is in the thumbnail, Colorado's been in the news a lot, regarding that the misgendering equals abuse bill. Well, the governor just signed a new gun control law. Yay! So I want to see if I could actually pull up the actual law. But on April 10th, Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed Senate Bill 25-003 into law, which bans the manufacturer and severely restricts the sale of certain semi-automatic firearms with detachable magazines. So all handguns.
Pretty much.
The bill has sparked significant controversy, with critics arguing that it infringes on the Second Amendment. Of course it does. And labeling it as the most extreme gun control legislation in the country. Governor Polis has stated that the law aims to enhance public safety while protecting the rights of hunters and sport shooters. Legal challenges to the bill constitutionally are anticipated. So literally, he's trying to outlaw all handguns. He wants people just to be able to have guns that are for hunting and shooting, for sport.
I believe there are certain handguns that don't have detachable magazines.
Yeah, it wouldn't include revolvers, I would imagine.
Yeah, revolvers, but I mean, once you get into the semi-automatic thing, some revolvers wouldn't be, some are single action, some are others, but
yeah,
essentially there are some that would still be able to. So it's again people who don't really understand the market, the machine, making laws over shit they don't understand. Am I allowed to cuss you on YouTube? I'll try not to.
I usually try to avoid it, but I also don't care that much about YouTube. We're growing on Rumble, baby. Rumble's where it's at. I don't even have any viewers on YouTube right now, Mad Stork. They're all on Rumble.
Okay, I'll go over there and downvote the video real quick.
There you go. Just to show YouTube what's up. But I'm trying to see if I could find the actual bill itself that he signed. Here, I could actually just look it up, huh? Because I want to see the actual wording on this. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna find it for you. Find people right now. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay, semi-automatic firearms and rapid-fire devices. That's the title of the bill. Concerning prohibited activity involving semi-automatic firearms and in connection therewith. Oh, wait, here. Let me pull it up. Here we go. Okay, I got it right here from the Colorado General Assembly. So the bill defines a specified semi-automatic firearm as a semi-automatic rifle or semi-automatic shotgun with a detachable magazine or a gas-operated semi-automatic handgun with a detachable magazine. The bill includes, from the definition, certain types of firearms and specified model of firearms. The bill prohibits knowingly manufacturing, distributing, transferring, selling, or purchasing a specified semi-automatic firearm, except that a person may transfer a specified semi-automatic firearm to their heir, or to an heir, but that's crossed out. An individual residing in another state or federally licensed firearm dealer. The bill exempts certain manufacturer, transfer, sale, blah, blah, blah. So, okay. Let me go down here. Additionally, the prohibition does not apply to the transfer or sale of specified semi-automatic firearm to or recipient or purchase specified semi-automatic firearm by a person who completed a hunter education course within 5 years of mistaken purchase, completed extended firearm safety course, extended firearm safety course more than 5 years before making the purchase, completed a basic firearm safety course within 5 years. So literally, it just bans all semi-automatic guns.
Well, I'm a little bit confused by that. If you scroll back up to the gas-operated handgun, that essentially means the Glock would still be, and I'm trying not to use certain words because, like I said, you are on YouTube. I think a Glock would still be able to be purchased under this because it's not a gas-powered, but I'm not really sure if they're including. So I've seen some laws and some judges who just don't know what they're doing. And they include gas essentially as part of the ejection of the round. Because
so what would that include? CO2?
That's the weird part. I think it does.
So
I
it would
think
ban CO2 pellet guns.
It would mean CO2 pellet guns. It would mean some airsoft guns. It would mean some paintball guns. But it wouldn't include a Glock.
Why would it not include a Glock?
Because it's not gas powered. And it specifically has the carve out for handguns and the carve out for rifles and shotguns. So it says rifles and shotguns with this or gas powered handguns.
Super
That's
weird.
what the law, like, it's stupid weird. But like the worst part about it is, and this is what gets me every time anybody talks about gun legislation. Like, let's pretend the Second Amendment didn't exist for just half a second, okay? Rifles are not the dangerous thing that most of the people get shot by. It's handguns. So they're obsessed with limiting and regulating, shotguns, rifles, these kinds of things. But handguns have these like weird carve out niche or whatever. And like, if you're going to make an argument that guns need to be regulated and we didn't have the Second Amendment, handguns would be what you need to go after.
Absolutely. Handguns are one of the most dangerous. I mean, shotguns, some 12 gauge buckshot, that'll clear a room real quick, but handguns can be more easily concealed. I can't conceal my 12 gauge shotgun as easily as I can conceal a 9mm handgun.
I grew up in the age of Jinkos, so yes, you can conceal a shotgun.
No, you can. I'm not saying you can't, dude. I used to go to. Okay, here, quick story for the Second Amendment. What's called? I used to work at Albertsons, and I always have 2 pocket knives on me. And one day I started having a knife on my belt. It was a little bit more open, but I purposefully had it out in the open for self-defense and deterrence. And also in California, you're supposed to publicly display that you have something. You have to open carry. So I would wear it at work. It was out on my belt, but it was still within the legal length. And my job was threatened over it. I had been threatened multiple times by customers at work who were stealing. One even pulled a massive knife on me. It had to at least be like a 6-7 inch blade. So after that night, I started carrying my own knife for self-defense, self-defense, mostly for deterrence. I probably would never use it, just because I don't want to get in a knife fight with someone. It was more deterrence. But they told me to stop having it, and that if I didn't, that they would fire me. And so I contacted my union rep, and the union rep basically told me that I need to. They pulled me into a room with the store director, and then I was on call with the it was either HR or my rep. But either way, they were basically like, "Yeah, we're going to have to let you go if you don't stop carrying that." And I was like, "What about my Second Amendment right?" And the person on the phone goes, "The Second Amendment only applies to firearms." So then I said, okay, hang on, 2 points. Does that mean I can have a firearm at work? And two, the Second Amendment applies to all arms, including knives. And she didn't know what to say to that. She said, well, no, you can't have a gun at work. And then she was basically like, well, according to our policy, you can't have that. And they basically said that if I continue to have the knife on me at work, they would fire me. But the argument I kept making was the people in the produce section with all the vegetables and stuff, they have knives 3 times longer than my knife, and they are not secured like mine is.
Correct.
So if mine is actually a threat, how is theirs not?
Well, I always love going shopping here by my house because there's a guy I run into quite often and whatnot, and he's just open carrying. And so it's always kind of a trip because I turn a corner and I almost run into him at the exact same spot in the store every time. And so it's like, I see you're over here by the fish, and I'm just, rounding the corner picking up bagels. And so I'm just like, oh, this is funny. But no, it's a constitutional carry state here now.
Nice.
And so no, it's just been interesting every time I see something, this or that.
Yeah, no, I hope this gets overturned. The Supreme Court needs to put out a ruling for the Second Amendment.
Well, I mean, there have
ridiculous.
been rulings from the Supreme Court on the Second Amendment.
Oh, what happened to my camera?
I don't know. You're like frozen or something. I just kind of, yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm the name.
No, now it's just Mad Stork. Mad Stork, just keep talking about the Second Amendment.
Yeah, the Second Amendment's great. Everybody needs to follow it.
Refresh the page.
Everybody also needs to understand and admit that the Second Amendment has absolutely no provision in it for defense. Enjoy that.
I'm back. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. But yeah, the Second Amendment does not protect your right to defense. It only protects your right to be armed.
Okay. And then absolutely. Which it should protect your right to self-defense, but
well, I'm not saying that the Supreme Court doesn't have a ruling on it or something like that, but that is still an interpreted right or an extrapolated right, not an actual right protected in the Constitution.
Hey, Matt Stork, what are you doing tomorrow?
I was supposed to be going to a firing range, but I think that's canceled.
What are you doing around 6 Eastern?
6 Eastern. Not a damn thing.
Would you like to come on my special show?
What is the special show?
It's going to be Tyler Today Deep Dives. We're gonna go deep on one specific topic.
One specific topic.
I can DM you a few of the topics I have in mind.
Okay. As long as I'm not showing up and you're like, let's talk about the movie Cuties, and I'm like, I'm gonna be mad for like 5 minutes. I'm gonna need to go get a glass of water, and then I'll be done. I'll just be like, I'm not talking about it anymore.
I'm thinking like big stuff, like going to like the root of gender ideology, or like talk about like how the Federal Reserve works and how it was created. Like those are a few of the topics I've thought about. I'm thinking like it's supposed to be a deep dive. We're supposed to go deep on one specific topic.
Okay, a deep dive. But we're not doing Joey's mom, right?
No, too deep.
Okay.
Sorry, Joey. Okay. Well, I'll DM you more about it if you are interested. I just don't have any guests on tomorrow. And it's always better to have someone to talk back and forth with.
Cool. 6 o'clock then.
Okay, so I just wanted to mention briefly before we go into our last story, and then we send everybody over to Joey. So let's see. So Florida is finally charging the guy that tried to assassinate Trump on his golf course, Ryan Ruth, after 6 months. I understand that they have to conduct an investigation and everything, but can you not do the investigation while also charging the individual?
There are actually some provisos and whatnot with like overcharging. So it depends on the state and the judiciary system. You're only allowed to like really kind of do it 1 or 2 times before you can give them an appeal, essentially on the basis of, well, you're just trying to find something. I need you to, you can change them once or twice, but when you start changing the charges 5, 6, 7 times, that's essentially excessive, and
Yeah,
it
you're
was
just trying to pin
ruled
them on
something.
something.
Yeah, it was ruled excessive and something
Okay, well,
unfair to the lawyer.
I mean, either way, he's been locked up this whole time, so it's not like he's been out free while they figure out why he tried to kill the president.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
but still, there's a lot of people upset about this. I'm not upset about it. I'm just interested, like, why they chose to wait 6 months. Like we were just talking about. I assume it's because they were wanting to get as much evidence as possible. That way, they don't have to change charges.
Yeah, I've spoken about this in, I guess, other places and whatnot, but I think the real issue with a lot of things right now when it comes to courts is they just need more judges. I think we need to up the number. And I know a lot of people who are like small state, anti-government, libertarian are going to be like, no, man, that's a horrible idea. But I'm like, no, seriously, they're infringing upon our rights because they literally have such a high volume that they can't do it. And then they can also sit there in the same breath and say, we don't have enough judges to process all of these immigrants.
Well,
So that's why these people are waiting around for 3-4 years.
Constitutionally, you have the right to a quick and speedy trial, but
Correct.
if you can't get that quick and speedy trial, your rights are being infringed upon. So the only way to correct that is adding more judges. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to really deal with the situation outside of anything. But
because
yeah.
everyone deserves a fair and speedy trial. But if you can't get a speedy trial, and in order to get those speedy trials, you have to be less fair and get through them quicker, I don't like that either. So the
Nope.
only solution would be that you add more judges so that there's more availability in the court.
Yeah, there's been a few things like that I've been trying to research, essentially, that have never really panned out in trying to find information on, and even AI is not good about it. And essentially, what I'm trying to find out is like, what are the number of X that we had in the 1960s, 50s, and 60s versus today? And I think there's probably I think we have a large gap in some of these areas, and we don't really have good information on it. And I think that's a disservice. And I think judges is one of those.
Yeah, and then I am supposed to send everybody over to Joey, but I have to mention this story, Joey, before we go over there, because I do have it in my title. So the apparently in the UK, with all the grooming gangs going around, and then who was it? Toby Robinson, he's still in prison. What's it called? You would think that they would be looking into these grooming gangs with all the backlash they're getting, which they did start looking into them. Only now they have canceled their inquiries. So Labor cancels grooming gang inquiries amid backlash. The Labor Party in the UK has decided not to proceed with previously announced inquiries into grooming gangs, a decision that has sparked significant public and political backlash. Critics argue that the move was made to avoid offending certain communities, while others expressed frustration over the perceived neglect of justice for victims of these crimes. The decision was announced by Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, who faced questions from affected families and the public. This has led to internal criticism within the Labor Party, with some MPs feeling besieged by the negative reaction to the announcement. Why would they do this? This doesn't. You got any info on this, Stork? Because this seems stupid.
Yeah, I've
Why
been
would they stop?
for a couple of years now, actually. One, I talk about this, and two, there's something to relate at the end of it. Basically, the Rotherham rape gangs and a bunch of other things, essentially in the UK, they are racialized. There was somebody recently who I was listening to. They did a breakdown of what the white population in Rotherham would be for the age group of girls. And it's only something like 1,500 to 2,000 white girls would have been in the community. and it's something like 1,000 to 1,100 girls that would have been raped who are white in that community. So roughly, I may be off on the numbers. It was somewhere between 25 to 50% of all white girls in Rotherham had been raped by these Muslim rape gangs.
So that 1 in 4 number that Democrats like to throw around every now and again.
Oh yeah, it was legitimately true over there. But the reason that they kept putting it off is because Labor has a huge. I'm just going to come on and say it. They have a huge Muslim support kind of thing, and this is one of the things that they don't want to talk about. It's purely they don't want to talk about it. They're trying to hide it. And how that relates to it is I was talking to somebody else recently because of some information, and the Lotus Eaters today had some of the information regarding the case that everybody's liking to talk about right now. He had been suspended for having a knife, but the information regarding things like that is also being downplayed because of fears of being racist. And I can talk now fully about the knife part because I've known this for a bit. He had a knife and had been in trouble for it before. And everybody needs to Google and look up the idea of disproportionality or proportionality of like things. There's several news stories in this in the Dallas Morning News where essentially activist groups have gone into Frisco ISD and said you can't punish them like this because they're being disproportionately punished. Well, it turns out they were getting in more fights. So yeah, they were being punished for fights more. And then when it comes to this Rotherham rape gang, the same thing was happening. If you arrest one guy for a violent rape, it's fine if they're in the Muslim community. But once you've arrested your 250th person who's committed a violent rape this year, you have to slow down because the report starts to look bad. And
Right.
that you have a problem. And that's essentially the same thing that was going on there with that is going on here with this. The difference is the policies that are being put in place to protect the minority community, which is actually the majority community in Frisco, is the same thing that caused this particular person to not be punished for having a knife as severely. And so we're seeing the same thing that happened to the rape gangs happen now in other communities for other reasons. And it's just bullshit.
It's just purely political, and they don't want to lose their base.
They don't want to look at it. They don't want to try it. The prosecutor for that case, he's already said he wants to downplay the severity of the punishment because of that guy's race. Rotherham was doing the same thing. They were trying to bury how much it was happening in Rotherham and the other places in the UK that were having the problem because it was bad. And so, are you only on YouTube now or on Rumble?
What's called it's towards the end of the stream. I'm about to send everybody over to Joey. But it's the end of the stream. You can say whatever.
I won't use the bad man's name because they still scan and take away the bad man's name. But the Voldemort, if anybody knows what's going on with that, the Voldemort character that is in the UK,
Oh no, I think you could say that guy's name now.
Oh, okay, Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, no, I said his name at the start of the story.
Oh, my bad. Tommy Robinson. He's been at this a while. He's had personal issues with it, and until that guy is no longer demonized, this problem has not gone away in the UK.
I love what Tim said to what Piers Morgan. It's like, oh, Tommy Robinson did what? Oh, that has nothing to do with the rape gangs though. And then he was like, oh, who's telling you that Tommy Robinson is guilty? The same people that won't go after the rape gangs. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna believe those people?
Yes, and they have Ofcom laws in the UK. I don't know if you're familiar with Ofcom, but it's like this Big Brother media.
I don't like listening to non-constitutional republic countries.
Yeah. Ofcom is like this Big Brother that watches over all media, and they kind of control what it is you can say with certain things. And so Piers Morgan has to toe a line to a certain extent, and so that he can't outright call the police or the political establishment corrupt
like that.
And so he's caught in this weird catch-22 where he probably agrees with Tim, but he can't say it. I lost camera again, or you lost camera. You have disappeared.
I died, evidently.
I don't know what's going on with you, man. We said Tommy's name and your camera's frozen twice. I'm just saying.
Well, you seem to be. It's an issue on my end. My internet might be hicking up right now.
I can tell you that your stream has downgraded and upgraded several times on Rumble.
Lovely. Yeah, that's definitely my internet then.
Yeah, I've got a good connection. I'm good.
I do not. So, but yep. we've gone way over. Final thoughts,
sorry.
Mad Stork. No, that's my fault.
Tune in Saturday. Apparently, we're going to be going over some subject of nondescript import.
Yes, it is going to be my new Rumble Premium show. So it is Rumble Premium exclusive. So Stork, you will not need to worry about any YouTube censorship on this show. I'll DM you and we'll talk about what topic might be best.
All right, cool.
All right, well, Matt Stork, is there anywhere people can follow you, check you out, or anything?
Not yet, but I keep being tempted and pulled by people to post things, so maybe I'll do something soon.
I don't know. I think you need an X account.
I do have one, actually. I signed up for an official X account, blue check mark, and all that, because I had to have one to get in contact with certain people about certain things.
I think I know part of what you're talking about. I just don't know what the contact was for. But
it's okay.
Yeah. I think that was on purpose, but it's okay. Always glad to have you on. If you want to share that X account,
just Mad Stork at Mad Stork 91. You can find me on most things at Mad Stork 91.
All right, well, there you go. Go follow him, guys. Thank you, Mad Stork, for coming on. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. And like I said, I'll DM you.
Have a good night.
Yep, have a good night. All right, and then as always, thank you guys for checking out the channel. I'm going to send you guys over to the Joey Cannoli. He's doing Outworld Live, so go check him out and let him know I sent you. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the outro. Peace out, guys. Thanks for tuning in. There we go. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video today. If you thought that was a great video, great live stream, great whatever you were watching, make sure you hit that like, thumbs up, whatever you're watching, hit that follow, subscribe. And if you really want to support me, you could always share the video and comment down below. But thank you guys so much. Make sure you follow on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Thank you, and peace out.